Hello, everybody. Hi.
Um,
Welcome back to that Eurovision site, Eurovision with the Slice of Life. It's me, Kittens, here with the ever lovely Daniel. Um,
oh,
it is currently the day after the grand final, the Sunday after the grand final. As you can tell, my voice is somewhat screwed, but we bowl. And we're gonna be talking about Nemo, the winner of Eurovision 2024.
yeah,
Daniel, your instant thoughts about Nemo as the winner of Eurovision
uh,
2024.
first of all, I'd like to say I called it. I know it's a lot of people in the chat were saying that they couldn't see Switzerland win. I've always said they can, and they did. And for a lot of the season, I couldn't think of anything else winning, and I was right. So I also think they are an incredible winner. It was an amazing performance, and it's honestly happened for the first time with me where I've been just so happy with the winner because and this is not saying that I hated Lorena or I hated Carlos, but I've never liked since I started watching liked a winning song as much as this one, and I think it's just so great to have such a good winner, I think.
Yeah, like for me, I am terrible at picking a winning song.
Yeah,
Genuinely awful. I have not loved a winning song. Like it's never been like top of my ranking. Like I've enjoyed songs that have got to the top.
yeah,
But they've never been top of
yeah,
my ranking for a very, very long
yeah,
time. And I was I was scared that people wouldn't get Nemo. I was really
yeah,
scared that people weren't going to get it, that this song was kind of too much for people, that the way that it was kind of shifting around genres and stuff was going to be a lot. Um, and I know I think everybody on the site knows how much I love Nemo and how
yeah,
much um passion I have for this song.
yeah.
Um, but honestly, I am so pleasantly surprised. Like when the jury votes were rolling in last night.
Oh, I was celebrating each and every one.
Yeah, I was literally kind of like sitting there in like floods of tears last night,
Yeah.
not
I,
sure what to do with myself. It was so unexpected for me.
I think in my house the words were said, Monica Linkite, that is my mother, after Lithuania gave Switzerland 12.
Yeah, I just I think I spent a lot of last night just in a daze after the first set of 12s and stuff
Mm,
started coming in. I don't really remember even like which countries did anything at that point. It was just like constant, just I was just overwhelmed so much with it. And I just never thought that people
yeah,
would connect with this song the way I did.
yeah,
And you know, I know it was like an outsider in the grand scheme of things to win, but I had Italy down as
yeah,
they were gonna take the jury score. And I again that would have been a deserved jury
yeah,
score. This is not a complaint. But I had Italy or France are gonna
yeah,
take the jury score. So to see 365
yeah.
points for Nemo from the juries, I was just in bits.
I did think they would take the jury, but not by that much. Like it wasn't even close in the end, really, which was insane, I think.
Yeah, there's like
Good.
over 100, well over 100 between that and the closest, which was France. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously to really win Eurovision, you either have to have a really high weighted jury or a really high weighted televote or consistent throughout the two. And we got like a fifth in the rankings for the televote, um only 1 point less than France in the televote, which feels wild to me.
Yeah.
Um that yeah, I I am kind of just like it is the day after and I'm still somewhat lost for
Yeah.
words.
Oh, one thing I want to mention quickly is LCB on TikTok put out saying, "My boyfriend, who is one of the writers, has just won Eurovision. If anyone can relate, DM me. I've just bought a kebab." And I love that energy
I
because
mean, last
there's like
night, go on.
there's a big like group of those people, or like the sort of like Central European location-y songwriting camp people who they are just like the loveliest people, and I think it's a victory for all of them because it's such a close-knit community that so many of them will know Nemo, they will know one of the writers, and
Yeah, and I know
it's
a
a
lot.
model that's got criticized a lot, but it's paid off because a songwriting camp for Eurovision has just produced a Eurovision winner.
Yeah,
There's
and
not much more you can say.
when you listen to Nemo talk about their experience in the songwriting camps
Yeah,
and how positive that was for them versus the kind of idea that songwriting camps are just turning out
yeah,
the same old stuff.
yeah,
I mean, you couldn't be more wrong right now. Like, this is something that we've not really heard before. We haven't really ever had a song fully like this. We've had mixes of like pop and opera and stuff like that, but this is something else.
I think,
And
especially, I think Nemo's managed it without it being a gimmick as well. Like you see with some of the genre mixing ones in the past, where it's, haha, it's pop and it's opera. This is all of it in one without
this is
really
not
putting.
this is not Jakudek.
Yeah, it's all.
You know.
It's got all of the genres, but it doesn't feel the need to tell you it does.
Yeah.
It just does, and and it got appreciated for it just being very sincere in that, I think.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it meant a lot for this to be I said this in the video when I talked with Ewan about this a while back, but it means a lot for this to be a story about
Yeah,
themselves. That this isn't just them singing a love song. Some people can sing a love song and it's from their history and it's the most sincere love song they've ever written. That's fair. But this is a very different kind of song, with very different lyrics that is, clearly connecting with people on some sort of
yeah,
level. Um, you know, the first non-binary artist to win Eurovision and to win so with a song about being non-binary, it
yeah,
is feels it feels to me
yeah,
massive. Um, like I wrote a piece online last night
yeah,
about what it meant for you to see a non-binary artist do this like this in this manner and what it means for a whole load of reasons, and I'm sure you can go check that out if you need to. But
yeah,
equally, I I resonate with this song personally, even though I'm not non-binary. I resonate with this song personally. Um, but also it's just a great tune. It's
yeah,
like it's just phenomenal. I out of all the like I would have been happy if Croatia came in. I would have been, even though I don't really get Ukraine as like a winning song, I would have been happy with it as a winner. I wouldn't have been sad about it. I don't really get France, but I see why people would have seen that as
yeah,
a winner. I don't Ireland isn't for me personally, but again, a worthy winner.
Yeah,
Um, but I I feel very connected to this song
yeah.
and very connected to this winner in a way that I have not done so for a long
I
time.
think as for the top two, in terms of the people who got them, in terms of, and their stories, could not ask for any more at all. Nemo with their song about finding their true identity, and the story of Baby Lasagna is incredible, and it's definitely not ending here
Yeah, I mean,
because
our top three all tell like
yeah,
amazing stories.
yeah, like
Ukraine, with all their
yeah,
stories of all the people involved in their song, you know, it's a victory for storytelling in music, really. I, you know, France may be a love song and it has its own story to tell, but we've seen a lot of that kind of love song
yeah,
have their story told. Whereas, you've got a song about non-binary identity and finding your identity in this world,
yeah,
a song about, you know, essentially having to leave your hometown because there's no chance for you left
yeah,
effectively, and a song about women and you know how all that is represented in the world, and to have that top three is brilliant. I know we're really meant to be just talking about Nemo here, but
uh,
I think it's a victory for storytelling
yeah.
in those top three.
I'll bring it back to Nemo and say that like just before we record this, saw a video sent into the group chat of Nemo hugging the person who cleaned their shoes before they went on, and I just think that says so much about their character and how like, Europe picked well this year.
I think we have
Yeah,
a extremely lovable person
yeah,
and an extremely, you know, somebody whose personality comes through on that stage.
yeah,
Like, you know, I'm gonna enthuse madly. I met Nemo, and they were just the most beautiful human. Um, and I'm gonna be privileged to have that forever in my life, honestly.
yeah,
Um, you couldn't have a person who is more kind and sweet and feels it just felt like a victory for something this year to have that
yeah.
happen. I'm not obviously saying other artists are not kind and sweet, so please don't think that, but equally, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person.
No,
Um, I'm just really hoping that the net result of this, I feel like the net result of Nemo winning is kind of the same net result as Karia winning, in that,
Carrier almost winning.
well, not winning, but I mean, getting to the close, is um because it is a victory for songs that are a little bit different.
Yeah,
Um, you know, we have Switzerland, a country that has played it very safe for the last few years. Um, you know, suddenly come out and do something different and take a risk. And it pays off. Switzerland was not a country I ever thought I'd be buying a flag for.
no,
I don't think I've ever really, really enjoyed a Swiss entry as much as this. Like, I mean, you'd have to go back quite some years, for that to happen. And I hope that what it says is you can take a risk. And it doesn't always pay off because it can't always pay off. But I hope that it says to people, take a risk, try something different. You can't recreate this. You can't sit there and go, I'm gonna recreate the same song as last year because it'd be insincere, disjointed, etc. Um but honestly, I hope that it says to people take a risk in the same way that like Karia getting close did, you know, the effect of entries like that, I
Yeah.
hope is good for the contest in the future.
And I think we'll be seeing that with Baby Lasagna and Bambi Thug as well, because so many people, Ewan, were predicting Ireland was going to flop. They were going to NQ. It was going to be the worst thing anyone's ever seen. But then everyone saw them on the stage, and they all shut up for some reason. God knows
Mm.
why. That after rehearsals, we didn't hear from that crowd anymore.
Yeah,
It's
and
almost
I feel like
it's,
my nightmare with Nemo is that they were gonna like overstage it, or that they were gonna add stuff that didn't need adding or overcomplicate it. And honestly, I think the staging was perfect.
yes,
Um, they had an extremely kind of simple but not simple, deceptively
yeah,
simple staging. Very clean staging that does memorable things but not
yeah,
takes away from the performance. And I think that will have helped a lot. Um, yeah.
yeah. I think something I usually love in songs, but they did it in staging is fun, but also symbolic. And they did that so well with the whole jumping off and then at the end having finally like found their kingdom come, just like properly spinning around, which I need one of those, and two, it just the symbolism of it is so great and just worked so well for them, I think. And also the stamina and like energy they would have needed to done that for 3 minutes straight was insane.
Yeah,
Because
some of the like angles.
I would have been out of breath by the first chorus.
Yeah, like some of the angles and stuff,
Yeah,
it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the Loreen interval
yeah,
in that, there is a level of like acrobatics that is
yeah.
involved there that you need to have that level of skill. So I
Like just from jumping off the thing, I would have been tired.
the Nemo workout coming to a gym near you. But yeah, I am just so very happy with this.
Yeah.
I don't every time I think about it properly, I start feeling like I'm gonna bawl.
Yeah.
So
I've just realised something. We're going to get Celine Dion medleys next year.
I'm not sad about that.
I mean, it's better than ABBA, I think, but it would have been nice to not have. Remember these people every year.
I feel like there are bigger problems for next year that need to be dealt with.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but equally, if they're gonna make it a Celine Dion year, let's do it. Let's rock on. I
yeah.
I kind of don't care.
Yeah,
Um,
bring her back.
um, this it just feels like this year could have gone a lot worse.
Yes.
And I think partially, personally, I'm feeling a level of
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
catharsis
it's yes.
that I just, the
Yeah.
relief.
I don't have post-Eurovision depression. I have post-Eurovision relief that we could have got maybe the worst winner ever. We got one of the best, I think, in
Yeah,
terms of meaning and in terms of actual song.
it
And I
feels,
just think that's great.
it just feels a bit like a victory.
Yeah.
That is not just a victory for you one artist.
Yeah.
It feels bigger.
Yeah.
Um,
And it doesn't feel like the end either. Like, it feels like that things are just getting started and that off the screen that things can like genuinely improve.
Yeah, I wrote in my little post that I did on Twitter that Nemo feels to me like hope for a lot of
Yeah,
reasons. And I feel like that's reflected in, a lot of people today that, you know, things have not gone smoothly in this
yeah,
contest, and I think we would be remiss to say that things have been
yeah,
perfect. Things have absolutely not been perfect this year. Um, but the outcome has been, personally for me, for a song that I put in number one after hearing it twice, uh, has been just phenomenal. I can't.
yeah. I need to say
I
that,
will just say the same thing over and over again now. If I keep talking.
and I'll just say I've looked through my spreadsheet. I think this is the highest place that a winner has been in my personal rankings since 1995, which is
Oh,
like wow. That doesn't happen to people like me.
yeah, I am notoriously terrible at picking the winner. Even on a prediction basis rather than a personal
Uh,
basis.
it,
Um,
I am vindicated on a prediction basis because I have like a list every year as soon as like a song is released in like any national final. I will add it to a list if it gives me winner vibes. Last year I added one by some of the same writers called Freya. Did not make it out of the heats of MGP. So I am just so happy that this is like justice for me. That I knew they had the talent all along, and it just needed like the right performer, and they got the right performer.
mm,
And because I had the same worries going in as I did after what happened with Freya, but the first time I heard the performance, they just all went away, and I knew they've won the whole thing
yeah.
because what else would at that point?
I mean, it's been a very interesting year. That's may you live in interesting
Yeah,
times kind of language. Um, but I just feel very relieved is the wrong word,
yeah,
but there is a level of just that has come from this win.
yeah,
And I I don't know. I'm just gonna say the same things over and over again, but you know, Nemo, you smashed it.
yeah,
You have been an astounding performer,
yeah,
an outstanding personality in this year's competition as well.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Also, come to the UK. We will be there.
Absolutely. Yep. I want to see some tour dates, please. Do you have anything more to add, Daniel?
Um, that I genuinely just very, very happy with the winner in gen. It's been said before, but it bears repeating because great song, great person, great story, everything. It's sort of on a night where we very nearly got what Eurovision shouldn't be, we got what it should be. And I just think that's so, so great. And I'm looking forward to what Switzerland can bring next year.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Not a male ballet.
Thank you to Switzerland for taking a risk and seeing that
It,
the
it
same
it would
old
be actually
patterns
it would be
don't
so
always
funny.
work.
It'd be so funny if they just went back to it.
Maybe they don't want to do it 2 years in a row. Right. I'm gonna wind it up there. So that brings us to the end. Thank you very much, Daniel, for joining me. Apologies for those who've had to deal with my voice being slightly screwy today. If you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be notified when we have new content. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at that
Yes.
Eurosite on Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, Tumblr, and Instagram. And
Yes.
also be sure to check out that Eurovision podcast on all the streaming sites, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podfollow, wherever you get your podcasts. All that's left for me to say is thank you very much to Daniel for being here with me.
Thank
And
you.
thank you all for watching. Kittens out. Bye.
Bye.